Okay, so this video is kind of for people that live in Aurora, Missouri, Lawrence County. Anyone's welcome to watch it if they choose, but it's pertaining to that. So I made the other video. A lot of people were left in the dark living around here. I figure at least owe them that much. And I really don't want to touch base on this ever again if I can help it. But here goes. So I moved to Aurora, Missouri 12 years ago from Kingman, Arizona. And I had lived in Missouri off and on for many years. But I moved here to Aurora from Springfield. I actually moved to Springfield, then I moved to Aurora. And I didn't know anybody. And at that time, I still had my ex wife. Yeah, it was, yeah, so we were still together when I moved here. And I I was in the middle of a divorce and just a really bad situation because all hell was breaking loose there. So um, cash flow was kind of low, you know. So I was selling stuff. I had really high end guns, and when I say high end, I mean it's the kind of guns that if you get them, they never leave your vault unless you just mess up. So anyways, I had those, and I had my old wedding ring. So I'm going around to all these places, you know, and I'm like, hey, how much? At that time, I didn't know anything about gold or jewelry or diamonds or silver or anything. And I took the ring to probably like four different people. And this, you know, one place is like, well, I'll give you $50 for it, or I'll give you 75. And then I stopped at a place here. We'll just call this guy RL. It's the old lady with the videotape incident I found. So I go in there, and he's like, well, I'll give you 350 for it. And all these other people were like between 50 and 75 bucks. I had no idea what gold was actually worth. Well, he shot straight with me. He's like, it's worth 350, you know, or it's worth four, but I'll give you 350. You made 50 bucks on it. So, anyways, so that's how me and him got to know each other. And then the guns come into play later because he and his family have lived in Aurora, Missouri for 100 years. He's got 100 years down home, meaning his bloodline has been in this town for 100 years. He knows people, and he knows a lot of them. And if you're from a small town, you know exactly what I'm saying. So through the years, me and him developed this business relationship. And it's like, okay, I made connections, he made connections. You know, I'd go to him, and I had however much, a very rare pre 90s Colt. And, you know, we'd move it through an auction or something. That was his connections. So we got to know each other pretty good, and actually become really good friends. You know, one of my best friends actually at the time. So uh, time goes on. We know each other like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and right around the seventh year, maybe not seven, maybe like five, the fifth year. I mean, in the back of my mind, I always knew he was, you know, gay-ish. You know, I think he swings. I really don't know, but I think he leans more towards guys, which to each their own, you know. But and he started telling me, well, hey, I like you more than a friend. And I kind of always knew there was something up, but he had never come at me like that. So I'm like, well, dude, you know, I like you too, bro, but I kind of like the kitty cat, you know. But at that time, uh, I had not had any relations because when I divorced my wife, my ex-wife, and I just didn't want to bring that around my girls. I didn't want them to see me, you know, bouncing here, bouncing there, whoop de whoop, blah blah blah. I don't know. And that's no disrespect to anyone that, you know, plays the fences. Do your thing, you know. This is me. This isn't you. So, but anyways, I think it was either like year 5 or 7. He's telling me this, and I'm like, well, man, like I love you like a brother, bro, you know, but I just not that way, you know. So that kind of pissed him off. Actually, that really pissed him off. And so we just still hung out and shit like that. And things started to get a little bit weird because I met this chick named Janine Johnson. She's a really lovely lady. very beautiful, you know, spirited and everything. And she was Eddie Vallen's ex-woman. Eddie, a friend of mine, you know, he moved here from Las Vegas like 35 years ago, and I'm, you know, spent the majority of my life in Las Vegas and Arizona, but lived all over America. So, anyways, uh, I get with this chick. I think at like year 6 or something. I'm real fuzzy on the years, but I'm doing the best I can. So, at like year 6, I'm guessing, my phone starts to ring, and I got 15 calls a day, prank calls, not saying anything, just call and hang up, you know, call and hang up, call and hanging up. And I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So this went on for 3 years, like 3 years of prank calls. And in the back of my mind, I always suspected him. But if you have like a really good friend, you never want to put them on the spot or point your finger. They're the last person you think of because they're the one that's closest to you and they're just the one, you know? So in 3 years, I changed my number 50 times, maybe even more, maybe even 60. I don't know. But so I'd change it and I'd give it to one less person each time because it started to get really embarrassing. You know, because it's a pain in the ass when you change your number. You got to call all your friends and be like, this is my new number. It got to the point where I just text them at a certain time or call them and they just knew it was me. They're like, okay, bro, thanks, man. And then it got to the point where I would stop giving it to people. I just give them my email address. Before I was smart enough to realize I'd just buy a second phone and only give it to a handful of people. Now I have 3 phones. But that's for several different reasons. But so anyways, over these 3 years, 10 to 15 times a day, I'd get calls at a certain time. And throughout the day. And it was driving me crazy. I'm like, what in the shit is going on here? Because when I changed my number, it just wouldn't make any sense. And then I started thinking it was Google. You know, I'm thinking, well, maybe when I change my number, Google's giving it out to like these places, whoop de whoop. But I don't, you know, I don't know if they go to that extent. But anyways, so for 3 years, I got 15 phone calls a day. And then I narrowed it down to where the last 3 times I changed it, I'd give it to 5 people, 4 people, and then it was just 2 people. And the last 2 people I gave it to was him and my mother. And he waited about a week and the phone calls started coming. So I caught him. And he didn't know that I was doing that I had only given the number to 2 people. And it was the same thing, same kind of, you know, call pattern, same number. It's called spoofing is what it is. And it's a shitbag thing to do to somebody. Whoever the creators are of that, they need to get their ass kicked good and plenty. And I have nothing personal against you, but it's like a telemarketer. People despise telemarketers, you know. They're some of the lowest forms of people on this planet. But anyway, so I corner him like, man, why in the hell, why would you do that for 3 years, man? Well, this is when I finally found out that he wasn't right. Because one of his sisters, like he made her crazy, I think. Because she lived in the country and he was just always messing with her. Just some demented shit. Like, I don't even think he knows what he's doing half the time. I think he's so out of it that he doesn't realize what kind of person he actually is. So, but anyways, it all started about, you know, the time I told him no, I didn't want to, you know, do nothing. And I hooked up with that chick. So he did everything he could to ruin that relationship for me. And I think he was a major contributor to that one ending. But, so anyway, and that was about the same time, you know, I found the videotape of the old lady incident. And I tell you right now, it was one of those things where it was a major turning point. It got to where we didn't talk and shit was just bad and it was just very uncomfortable. But this guy, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, he gave me all his connections, you know, he taught me everything about gold. I didn't know anything about gold or diamonds or anything. And he showed me everything. So now there's not a bar of gold or a ring or a diamond that I couldn't appraise 100%. And he was the guy that taught me. I got to give him that. But that's kind of how it ended up. And then it got to the point where people was like, well, did anything happen between you guys? And it's like, no. By the time it all come to fruition, or I guess if that's the word, he was already didn't want anything from me. He was just so pissed off that he just wanted revenge. And I don't really understand why. I guess just because things happen. Now, when he was younger, some really terrible shit happened to his dad. So I think that changed him because for all the terrible shit he's done, I mean, the guy, and I guess everybody has good and bad in them, but I mean, he does good stuff, you know? It's just, he's got another side. Like everybody has two sides, but uh, his is really out there. I smoke a cigar every now and then. Whee! But anyways, so that's kind of it. So if you live in Aurora, Missouri, and you're Sherman or Mary or Bill or Joe, and you know me because I know like 50 people, and everybody's like, "What's going on?" That's what it was. That was it. I got to know him. He was the first one here that I really met that treated me fair, and he did treat me fair. I mean, I can't say that he didn't. You know, and I treated him. He made a lot of money off me. Like I'd have let's say pretend like a $2,000 Colt, you know, pre-90s, you know, I'd sell it to him for whatever, and he'd pocket a lot. So that's how our business relationship started, was that. Um, Things got good, then they got bad, then they just got kind of crazy, and a lot of video of me was taken, which is it's like whatever, you know, is what it is. I think I'm going to start doing more videos just because why not? You know, I mean, it's the internet. I was around when the internet first started. Um, Actually, that was around before the internet started. But when, like around the year 2000, actually around 98, 99, 2000, the internet took off. And if you're born after the year 2005, you don't know about the internet. When the internet first come out, it took you 30 minutes to get on it. Well, I'm not kidding. There was no smartphone. There was nothing. You had to go to a desk, sit down, turn it on, and you hear it like a damn robot on crack. So that wasn't appealing to me. You know, I was always chilling with my friends or doing something. You know, it wasn't enough. But like it was just, I don't know. I kind of wish I had gotten into it, but for waiting 30 minutes to get on, you know, do stuff, you know. Nowadays, you just open your phone, boom, you're on it. But it literally took 30 minutes to get on the internet when it first came out. Sometimes longer. Like, I don't know. So as the years progress, you know, I've always been around YouTube and everything and stuff like that. But I'm going to start getting more into the whole digital side of it because, well, why not? And start doing a little bit more videos and trying to help the world the best I can. You know, if I have any information or anything good in a positive way, I want to get it out there because I believe there's bad people in the world that they just need help. That's all they need. You can turn a bad person or a mean person good. I've seen it. I'm telling you. But most people don't give someone that time. They're just like, they brush them off. And you should to a point because, you know, just loudmouths and just terrible people where they're just always so negative. And it's like, I get having a bad day, but it's a terrible life to live. It really is. It's awful. But anyway, so that's kind of the story on that situation. And That's it. I really don't want to talk about it anymore. It's kind of over. You know, I don't wish him no badness. I don't wish none of his family any badness. I am going to say this. I did go out of my way to try to help them. And I mean on a major level. Not, but, anyways, so that's that. And, like I said, the only reason I make this is because I owe it to the local people around here to know what's going on. So, and if you've never been in a small town or you're not from a small town, and this video goes across your screen on the West Coast because the internet works that way sometimes, you're like, oh damn. But if you live in a small town, everybody knows everybody, or everybody's related to everybody, or something. It's just really odd, and it's more different when you get east of New Mexico because everybody's lived in that place for longer than the West Coast because the West Coast is somewhat new-ish. But it got to the point where he was turning because, like I said, the guy lived here 100 years. His bloodline, his grandpa, his dad, his grandpa. So he knows a lot of people, and he turned a lot of people against me. And like I said, if you've never lived in a small town, you don't know what hell is. So, but anyways, is what it is. I've been through worse, a lot worse. But it sucks, you know. There's a lot of people pissed off at me, and they shouldn't have been because either he recorded me saying something that wasn't targeted to them and they took it personal, or he just tried to, move shit around on me. So that's it. That's the story. Um, you know, I've been kind of laying low for a while for several reasons. I had some people from Mexico that come up here because they were just like, what's going on, dude? And it's like, it's cool, man. I got to handle the best I can. You just got to trust me. I'm trying to do something good here. You know, I mean, that's it. What more do you want? This helps you. I don't care how dark you are, or how cold you are, how tough you are. You love somebody, or you like them. So I, I don't know. I think a lot of people in the world they don't understand that you can friends make more money than enemies, and I've seen it my whole life. I've seen two neighbors that are into Hot Wheels or some shit, and they despise each other, and they don't realize even if you can't just squash your beef for anything. Maybe squash your beef on some mutual respect. Like, well, maybe we can do business together, and when we do business together, we can grow respect and maybe even love as a friendship. And people don't get that. They're so stuck in their ways, and I get it because when I was younger, I used to be that way. I used to be really, that way. But then I wised up. I talked to a lot of people, a lot of elders. They set me down. They're like, don't do that. I'm 78 years old. I'm going to tell you what to do. So I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to listen because you got, you know, 70 years, whatever, 60 years on me. I think you might know something, you know? So, but anyways, so that's that. I think if people just give it a chance, just if you have an enemy or something, um, just give it a chance. Just try to squash it. I mean, if it's not so bad where it's like just unfixable, where you're just like, nah, I can't. What could it hurt? At least try. So I mean, I don't know. Even government agencies, people in politics, if they could just put their piddly ass shit to the side. And I'm not in politics no more for several reasons. I kind of did for a little bit. It was over guns. But that was it. I'm fighting the battle on the street. They the ones in the suits up in the big house and shit. Stuff. Sorry, but that's it. I think that the world is a beautiful place, and I think you know everybody working together as a team, the world could be awesome. There's so much while there's still time to save it, because it's going to get to a point where there's no turning back. There's you can't stop it. It's going to reach a boiling point where you can't fix it. You know, I think even, I'm not like a tree hugger or nothing, but I love Mother Nature, and I see everybody hurting this world bad, and for no reason. You know, it all boils down to people's pride, or just they don't want to work together. But I don't know. So, like I said, though, I think that a lot of good can happen if people just try. They genuinely try. Try to spend more time with your family. You know, if you're sitting on the phone for 5 hours a day, you know, go talk to one of your kids and be like, hey, what are you into these days? Put your phone down. Come here. Let's, what's going on with your life? Because a lot of times I was little and I didn't have really anybody other than my sister, and I don't know, but I think more human communication will do vast wonders for this world. I think that I think we can stop a lot from happening. I believe that, but it's going to take everybody getting along and just stop with everything. You know, it's not much to ask for, is it? I mean, I could sit here and tell you a bunch of boohoo stories, and you're like, oh, yeah, but I've been through some stuff, and I still try to have a positive outlook on life, just because. Why not? You know. So, anyways, our economy's in the shitter. Uh, Bag of chips is like $6. Got it some hairspray, and like $9. What the hell's that about? So, anyways, that's it. Uh, yeah. So, anyways, a couple of you asked about my hair. It's getting pretty long. I'm thinking about cutting it off because it's just too long. You know, it's kind of in the way, and I don't know. I like it, but I think I want to start over. Maybe, donate it to Locks of Love or something. Some kid needs some hair. Like, here you go, have this. But yeah, it's been a thing growing this out. I tell you one thing, during the wintertime, I don't really get that cold. It's I've been growing it now for I think 3 years, so I know 2.5 for sure. But that's it. There it is. Wee, look at that. Wee. Yeah. So, but it has been a pain in my ass. I'm not gonna lie. It it it's like, damn. You're doing something and shit gets caught here and there, and then you can't have a window down in the car. So I don't know. It is what it is. But it's cool. You grow it out. At least say you did it. I don't know. I say it's about 1.5 feet, 2 foot long. I got my 70s stash going there. I got my cartel stash going on, the police stash. Like a war between those two. Anyways, I guess that's it. But I don't know. It's a beautiful world full of beautiful people. I see a lot of positive things that could happen. I also see a lot of really terrible things that's fixing to happen. But I try to tell people on the street, like, hey man, want you to be cool, bro. But it seems like people don't really care that much unless you put forth the effort to get on the internet here and say some stuff. So I guess I owe that to America and anyone else that I can help. Just sitting around trying to do good from one spot to one thing, but when you put forth effort and make videos like this, and I don't really like doing it, but maybe it's what the world needs. You know, if everybody knows you love them and you're trying to spread love, maybe it'll catch on. I don't know, but at least people can't say that, you know, this one person didn't try to, you know, do something positive for the world. And I think if everybody works together and they're like, hey, you know, we can do this, it'll be good. So, I don't know what else to say really, other than try to keep it under 100. You know, don't be careful where you're running. You know, if you are running, you know, try to have a respectful time when you do run. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, residential streets. There's a lot of kids and shit. You know, and they have the right to play and do shit without having to worry about being ran over. You know, there's areas where you can, you know, open up your car where it's a respectful place. You know, no side roads, no one in front of you, no one behind you, whoop de whoop, blah blah blah. So that's that for you know, I guess for my haters, don't drink the Kool-Aid if you don't know the flavor. And for everyone else, I love you. I really do.